welcome back to our channel. I'm Jennifer and this is Kate, and we're really excited today to share with you some of our favorite books that we use during Lent for the Stations of the Cross. So it turns out that I'm a big St. Alphonsus Liguori fan for the Stations of the Cross. I'll just admit that right up front. But last year I did notice, since we used that version at church all the time, we had sort of fallen into a Stations of the Cross rut, always using his reflections, which are wonderful, but still, it made me sort of want to investigate what other options were out there.
And as it turns out, there's this big whole wide world of meditations out there for the stations. So today we have some favorites that we're excited to share with you, plus a bonus podcast, which can all hopefully lead us down a holier path this Lent.
Okay, so first up, we have this little paperback that I am really super excited about, called The Stations of the Cross for Kids by Regina Doman.
So this is the one that we got a couple of months back in our $5 tan book haul, and it has turned out to be a real gem. And it's actually a pretty new publication. It came out in 2020, and the good news is that it is still available in the tan book sale all the way through the end of March if you're interested in getting a copy.
Yeah, I think that's a steal. I think this book is just so wonderful. What makes it so great? Well, for starters, it's very interactive. It has really detailed pictures for each station and questions for the kids to answer. Can you find Jesus? Can you find Mary? We also figured out that for each picture, there's also a rooster hidden in there somewhere, and he's not always very easy to find. And also, St. John and St. Mary Magdalene are in there, but you have to figure out who they are.
So each station has a family-friendly meditation, a prayer from St. Alphonsus Liguori, which we consider a bonus because, like we mentioned, we really love his version, and also verses from the Stabat Mater in both English and Latin, which is a neat addition. And there are also 3 roses at the end of each station to remind you to pray the Our Father, Hail Mary, and Glory Be.
Okay, so that's all wonderful, but that's not all. What I think really makes this book stand out is that for each station on this side of the page, there is a whole section called Learning More that gives you more details and information to ponder about the stations. For example, when Jesus is stripped of his clothing, it talks about, well, who made the robe he was wearing and what happened to it and where is it now? So the whole book is just full of all this extra fascinating detail. So that really made the book for me. I loved it.
Yes, there is a lot going on in here, but it is all very good. And the pictures are super detailed, so it really pulls you into the scene and gets you thinking about everything that was going on during the Passion. Next up is Mary's Way of the Cross, Walking with the Mother of Jesus. And in this book, we go through the Stations of the Cross through Mary's eyes.
So you get to see all through the eyes of the Blessed Mother, and for each station you get a short reflection and then a prayer that asks the Blessed Mother to help you work on the areas of your life where you might be stumbling and failing. For example, at the 6th station, when Veronica steps out of the crowd to wipe Jesus' face, that was very brave of her. She could have been very severely punished for doing that.
And the prayer for that station is asking Mary to give us the courage to step away from the mediocre crowd and give help to whoever needs it. Even if it's just some small thing, it really does mean a lot.
So seeing it all through the eyes of Mary, as a parent, this one really hit me hard. I just can't imagine seeing one of my own children go through something like she witnessed with Jesus. She was very courageous, and I think that this book has a lot to offer.
Next up, we have Praying with Mother Angelica, which was a big find for us last year during Lent. It has the Stations of the Cross, it has the Rosary, and even other prayers that Mother Angelica wrote.
But her reflections on the Stations of the Cross, they are so good. She writes as though she's speaking directly to Jesus. She's so humble. She freely admits her own faults throughout her meditations, and she's always asking Jesus to help her.
There are also beautiful illustrations in this book, and it is a very good size. It's not too big for your purse, but it won't get lost in there either.
Yeah, there's just something about this book, the print, the feel, it's just like perfect. I don't know, that sounds weird, but anyway, I really like this one, and it's not going to get lost in your purse like this one could. This is My Pocket Way of the Cross by Alphonsus Liguori. I know I've shown this one to you guys before, but I just love this one because it's so little and it has really great illustrations, all his prayers and meditations, and it's available for only $1.50 on Amazon Prime. So $1.50 and free shipping. That's a pretty good deal.
Which means that you could get one of those little booklets for everyone in your family to use. Because, usually if you're doing stations at church, everyone has a book or a pamphlet or something to follow along with. But if you're doing stations at home or outside, this is a great option so everyone can follow along really easily.
Now, if you're looking for an audio version of Stations in the Cross, maybe one that you could listen to at home or in the car, then I have really good news for you, because just a couple of days ago, Dr. Edward Sri from Ascension released his brand new Stations of the Cross in 15 minutes, and I listened to it and it's really good.
And now 15 minutes doesn't mean you're supposed to rush through the Stations of the Cross, but it's a really great option because it allows you to listen on the go. You could pray while you're taking a walk, or if you can't get to stations at church, you could pray at home or pretty much pray anywhere.
I know, it is really, really good. I was so excited. Okay. Lastly, I wanted to put in a plug for all those Stations of the Cross pamphlets that come in the mail this time of year, from missions, or maybe you see them floating around at church. Well, last year I decided that I was actually going to read the different ones that came my way to see what they were all about, and they were actually pretty good.
And the two we have here today is The Way of the Cross with Pope Francis and Stations of the Cross from Food for the Poor.
Okay, I'm going to say this one from Food for the Poor, if you use it to meditate on the Stations of the Cross, you will feel highly motivated during Lent to give alms.
And we do realize that not everybody has a ton of these pamphlets lying around their house, but we happen to have a bazillion from our volunteer work at the church library. So there you have it. That is our roundup of some of our favorite books to use for praying the Stations of the Cross. And let us know down in the comments if you have a favorite book or pamphlet that you like to use.
So we hope you are having a very blessed and fruitful Lent so far. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.